Lisa, with a 2-photo page. I have a 5x7 photo, and then I have a small supporting photo that I've decided to cut in an oval shape. These 2 photos could easily compete with each other. We have people, 2 of my cousins, and I went to the Biltmore house. One of them had never been before. She's from the Midwest, so she never had that opportunity. And it was a wonderful day because it's the first time the 3 of us have really just gone out and done something together like that, since we don't get to see her very often. So that was a great opportunity, and that's really what I want this page to focus on, is not so much the Biltmore houses that we spent the day together, but I have a really good photo of the Biltmore, and so I thought I would put that on here to show where we went on our day out, because hopefully we'll get to do more of these in the future. And so we'll have other pages of us at different places. Now, I'm going to cut this in an oval, and that will, I hope, make it more of an embellishment rather than another photo, because I don't really want these 2 things to compete together. The arrangement that I have for these is this one up more in the upper corner, and this down here in the lower corner more of as an embellishment group. And you'll see my triangle or shapes on the side here. What I have in mind of that to interpret that for this page is, rather than just cut paper and could go across there, what I think I want to do is die cut something with some kind of corner design. And I had this idea, and I remembered it from all the different designs that I had on one of the cartridges I had for my Cricut. I don't have the Cricut anymore, and I went to the Silhouette store and I found some things, but I never found exactly what I used to have with the Silhouette. So, but I found some options. So I do have some things in mind to cut for these corners. There's a lot of corner pieces that are more like what I wanted, but they had snowflakes in them, or reindeer, or Halloween stuff, and I don't want that kind of themed things. I just want something pretty traditional. So I have something to cut here, and honestly, it's probably going to work better anyway. Something that went straight across this way, I would be covering up a lot of it with my photo and my embellishments. So the ones I have more go just right in the corner, and I think that's probably going to work the best. But that's my interpretation of these corners that I drew on the sketch. And down here, I'd like to put several things, maybe some ribbons and trims. The Biltmore is a very formal place. It's the largest private home in the U.S. It was built in the late 1800s. It's more Victorian, or actually, that's Victorian era, Edwardian era. But anyway, it's very elaborate. It's designed as a French chateau. So usually when you're doing something with the Biltmore, you want a kind of a fancier page. So I want to do some trims and have some texture, and maybe use some metal pieces. I pulled out a few different things from my stash as possibilities. First though, I need a background paper. And I went through my stash. I was looking for something in these blue and teal colors and came up really empty on anything that looked good in the more formal thing. This was the closest I had. This is a new paper to me from Stampin' Up. It's out of their holiday catalog called, I think it's Petals and Paisleys, or Paisleys and Petals, but this is the back side of the paper. Really beautiful paper, but you get 2 sheets in the pack. So I've got this, and that's a good possibility for the background. I also, in looking through my paper, I have this one. I have had this forever. It's My Mind's Eye Indie Chic. I think I bought it at Archivers a long time ago. But I've just always loved this beige background. I've kind of been saving it, and it really is a good fit for the back for these photos, and the color that the outside of the Biltmore house is, and it just really looks very much like them. So it's a good possibility too. But the thing I actually pulled out first was this. This paper is from Stampin' Up. It's one of those papers where there's embossed design on here, and you just add color, and the embossed design comes forward. And I have picked one at this kind of fancy damask. I think it would look good on the page, but I'm afraid it's going to be so busy that when I get the color on this, that I won't be able to do something in the corners, that it will look overdone at that point. So I don't know, I've debated about it, and I finally decided I'm going to give it a try, because I've had this paper forever, and if I mess it up, it's just a piece of paper. I do have a smaller sample of that same kind of paper, so I can experiment with my colors to see what it's going to look like. I don't think I want something really dark blues, but let's start with something lighter first and see how it goes. So I'm going to pull out some blue inks, and that I have the most control over ink. You can spray this with mist, which wouldn't be a bad idea actually, because I have some mist that would work. I think I'll do that first. We'll try some mist, and if we don't like the mist, then we'll go to inks. So I've got these 2 shades of Tattered Angels Mist, and I'm going to cover part of this so I don't utilize all of that. And let's start with the lighter one. So I'm covering up half of this paper so that I can mist, and then I can also try the inks if I want to. I think I like the lighter color the best so far. And this is the kind of paper that you wipe off sort of the excess, and that gets any ink that stuck to the embossed portion. So we're going to try a couple of different colors of stamping ink. That was Baja Breeze is definitely too green. And then I have Tumbled Glass. And that's better. But I really think I like the soft misted look, that lighter color of the mist that I had. And I'm just adding quite a bit to the background, especially around the edges. Using a paper towel to start to mop some of that up, and now you can really see the design, the damask design coming through. And this will need to dry thoroughly. Well, our paper turned out really pretty. And it did curl up, so I laid it face down and I put some books on top of it just for a couple hours, and that helped it considerably. Now, I wanted to put some designs in the corners. My sketch had designs, you know, paper going all the way across the corner, and I wanted to do some die cuts. Something is going on with my silhouette. It's not been cutting as good. I thought I had a new blade in it. I'm going to have to check and see. Maybe I have a new blade that I haven't put in there yet, but obviously I'm going to have to recut these because these did not come out very good at all. But I think that I went ahead and pulled them out because I think I want them larger. These are a little over 4 inches, I believe. 4.5, and 6 inches is what I had on my sketch. 6 inches is what these were before I started resizing them, and I think I want to go back to that. I was afraid it would be too large because I am going to cover up some of each one, but that's okay to me. I don't mind that I'm going to cover some of that up, and I'll cover up some down here as well. That's fine for them to be in the background, and I like the color. This is the Sahara Sand color, and it goes really well with the brickwork here, or the rock. Can't remember what they actually used to make those. I should know after all my trips to the Biltmore house what they used to make those stones on the outside of the house. But anyway, it's supposed to. It looks very similar to that, and that's what I want to use for that color. So I'm going to recut those, and in the meantime, let's take the photo of the house and cut it with the Creative Memories cutters in an oval shape. All right, so that's a good photo. And it's going to go down here along with some trims. And the only thing I've found so far is this lace, but I think I've got too many frilly things on this page. So I don't think I want the lace. I think I want something that's more uniform in size behind that, and it may not even be trim. I may end up using some paper or something back there. Now also, another thing I want to cut is I want this to be designed so that the journaling is underneath, so it's a flip up. And I was going to do some hinges, something that looks similar to this, and I couldn't decide what color, but I may do them out of the same color. I was thinking about taking them and embossing them and adding some more color to them, and I don't know if I want to do that or not, but I think initially I'm going to cut them out of the same paper. And while I'm on the silhouette, if I can get some good cuts, I'm going to do my title of Cousins. I did not have any thickers that really suited me, but what color do I want to use? I like this blue background that I have here, but I'm wondering, maybe I'll do the navy, the brighter blue. That would look good, but I've also thought about doing a gray to kind of go with the roof of the house. The house also has some green colors to it. So I'm not really sure, but I think I may just go ahead and cut a little bit brighter blue for the word Cousins, because I do want that to stand out. I don't want this to be an entirely formal looking page. This was a fun day, and so I'm not really trying to match the house totally. I'm trying to create a little bit of that atmosphere, but I want it to be, you know, about the fun day, so it doesn't have to all be these neutral colors. So I'm ready to start assembling some of these things that I cut on the silhouette. My hinges have a chocolate chip cardstock shadow, and then the Sahara sand for the front, and I have thought about doing some embossing, but by the time I got to doing this, I mentioned at the end of this video, this page stayed on my work table forever. Different things kept coming up, and so I was doing little bits of it each day, and I kind of forgot about the embossing at this point. But I'm using some liquid pearls and silver to add where the brads would normally go on these hinges, because there were a lot of those little spots, and I thought putting brads there would just be way too much. So the liquid pearls works really well for that, but it does take a while to dry. I cut the title Cousins out of a piece of paper from Basic Gray's Urban Luxe, which is not a collection you would think would go with this theme at all, but it happened to be a really great color. And I have a couple of trims here. I was considering a wide trim, so I've got a rust one. I want to pull some rust from one of my cousin's shirt. There's more of a reddish color, and then there's a rust colored flower in the photograph. So I thought that would be a nice color to add to this, so it's not all neutrals. I have a ribbon that's a little more playful in the blue greens, and then I have a more formal ribbon. And I'm also picking out some metal things to go here. I think I'm going to use one of the keys. These are from Tim Holtz. Now the hinges, I bent them so that once I glue them on and get the glue dried really well, then will be able to just lift up the matted photo. It was matted with some navy cardstock. And then I can have my journaling underneath. I'm putting glue for my ribbon right in the middle where the photograph will cover it. And I'll use some tape on the back side to hold where it goes around the side of the paper. And maybe just a couple of other touches of glue to get it in place there. Right, we're almost done. I will be putting journaling in there. I could also put some journaling on the back side of the photo, on that back side of that mat, if I had a lot of journaling to add. But I thought I'd add some flowers. These are from Michaels, and use a couple of these to finish up my embellishment. Alright, I've attached my flowers and my key, and I did that with hot glue. Something like this, that's about the only way I know to put it on there, is to use hot glue. So let's take a look. Our sketch, instead of using the 6-inch piece of paper, cut in half to create those corners, I did these corner designs that I cut off of the silhouette, and then instead of a single item here, I have two to create this hinges, and that's sort of what I had in mind even when I was drawing the sketches, that I want to do the hinges. And I'll put the journaling back under there, and I had to put my title over a little bit to have room for the capital C, but I felt you know, especially when you're using thickers, you often end up with a lot of things in all lowercase, but sometimes you just really needs to have a capital for that. So we've got our flowers, lots of pretty trims down here, both the more traditional that goes with the place and the more playful and fun that goes with the day. And of course, it all started with this background that we misted on the paper that just has the embossing already built into it. I've been working on this page. It seems like it's been almost a week since I started it. It's one of those things where I just had a lot of other things going on, and so I didn't get to finish it for the longest time, but I'm quite pleased with how it came out. I think it's a good page to represent our day together and to showcase a really good photo of us, and then the photo of the house is just sort of a little secondary thing down here. So this is one of the sketches that'll be in the 2016 sketchbook when it comes out early next year. I had requests for 5x7s, so this is one of 3 5x7 photos that I already have printed out for this year that I need to go ahead and scrap. So there'll be some more of those coming along. Thanks so much for watching today.